Hi everyone, I've been painting, as you can see. The old mandala behind me was a bit... it's been there for a while, and these things need to change every once in a while, every 7 years, or every 10 years, depending who you ask. You become a different person, right? Every cell in your body, and sometimes every idea in your head evolves into something completely new. If it doesn't evolve, I always ask myself, why? What's the story? Why do I need it? Why do I keep the old structure without making it not better, without trying something new? Right? That's all what it's about, right? Trying something new and becoming something else. Well, anyway, what I wanted to talk to you about is squiggles. Dramatic pause. So, if you look at the painting up close, because when I was that's a realization that I came to when I was painting. When you look at it right now, especially with the blur, because the focus is on my face, it's coming out pretty good, right? Or pretty well. But if you look at it up close, you see all the imperfections. You see all the inaccuracies, all the bugs in the code. So it's a great reflection on how humanity, how reality works, and how perspective and perception matter in our daily lives. Oh, that's a good one. Perspective and perception. So look at the planet, right? Imagine the Earth. Beautiful blue-green swirl. But when you look closer, you'll see those pretty white swirls on it turn out to be hurricanes, tornadoes, something dangerous and deadly. When you look even closer, you'll see violence or acts of kindness. You'll see involvement on physical plane. So what the idea I'm trying to convey is, the closer you go, the more 3D the involvement is. Until you go to subatomic, then 3D goes out the window. When you look from an airplane, right, you see clouds, ice cream castles in the sky, or see natural formations. It's all made out of chaos, out of noise. There's no pattern to it that human eye can discern, because there's no need for pattern. That's why chaos always wins with order, because it's better organized. And dangling participle in this sentence, you don't know which one is better organized, right? Chaos or order. Love it. So it's all made out of squiggles. And then you see little straight lines and squares. That's where humans are trying to sort stuff out, put it in order, put it in its rightful place, build walls or bridges. And when you look completely close up, that's where humans lose their ability to control. You see battles between anthills, or battles between bacteria and the roots of the plants somewhere in those green squares that humans made. Right. More human example would be traffic jam. If you look at it from afar, it's a pretty chain of lights. It's almost like, a Christmas light chain. But when you look at the emotional level of what's happening there, You know, there's plenty of anguish, I'm sure. I don't know, I always have something to do in the car and I don't mind traffic jams. Something to occupy one's attention. Anyway, so whenever you're painting, think how your painting will be perceived. What audience are you aiming it at? If it's an audience behind a camera, or if it's an audience that will not have a magnifying glass, tune your level of detail to that audience. It's not only about external audience, people coming over to look at your painting. It's also about how you see things, how you can curb your inner perfectionist from overwhelming you. Right? Take a step back and have a look at your painting from further than this. Because when you paint, you're this close, right? So take a step back, look at it from 1 meter, and go like, okay, so those wrinkles that I made actually seem perfectly fine from that distance, and this is the viewing distance that I should be looking at in my painting. And that's not only about painting. You can see how universal this metaphor is. If you look at your life, at perfection in it, there's a good exercise when you're painting, still using that metaphor. Do one thing out of place, on purpose. So, say you're painting a nice pattern, just place one grain of sand out of place. You will know it. Not many people will notice it, but you will know it, and you'll know that you went against the grain just to see how your mind reacts to it. If it's too hard to bear, you can fix it. You're the owner of the painting, you can change it. Or you can live with your decision. It's always up to you. So, you can curb your inner perfectionist, or another way, you can just take a step back and let the perfectionist work on the work and see how it works out for him, for it. Sometimes fool persistent in his folly becomes wise. So maybe you need to make this painting perfect and see that instead of spending a week on it, you spend a year. Maybe you can afford this year just as an experiment. So if we talk about life and how perfection and perspective and perception of it shapes us. Worshipping perfection may distract us from what's important. Whenever people say you have to stop every once in a while and smell a rose or touch grass or whatever, that's what it's about, right? Just take a step back and look at your painting from a distance. Look at your life from a distance. If you had distance between you and your body, you wouldn't be fussing over it so much. You would look at your vehicle, for example, at your car. You're looking at it from distance of 30 meters. You go like, yeah, that's a good car. It goes from point A to point B. It doesn't cost me too much. It's a good car. When you look up close, you see all the scratches, right? If you could do the same with your body, imagine taking a step away and looking at it from 30 meters. You would go, that's a good vehicle for me, for my mind, for my soul, for my eye. Good vehicle that will serve me. I think 60,000 miles, I think. Yeah, without major repairs, it'll do. Right. So another step back that you can take is your psyche. If you take a step back from your problems, it may prove surprisingly epiphanous to see how your problems in the grand scheme of things are not that scary. If you don't cook dinner tonight, world's not gonna end. If you don't cook dinner ever, world's not gonna end. Yes, it will affect your quality of life, but sometimes there will be things more important than dinner. So yeah, taking step back. Taking step back. Important thing. Thanks for being here.